Welcome to your weekly program, BelAhdan, a show with an accent for those without one. We're talking about the tragic attack happened in Brussels, in Belgium. I think the last count is 31 dead and more than 200 injured there in a small country like Belgium. And the reaction of the attack is very interesting. You know, the Western media, day and night, waking up to this attack. Whereas a few weeks ago was an attack in Istanbul and Ankara, who didn't have that much. Attack in Somalia, who don't have that much. Ted Cruz is asking to secure a Muslim community and monitoring them. Donald Trump is asking for carpet bombing ISIS. We have here a very interesting guest that tried to do something else to deal with ISIS, which using cartoons, counter the propaganda that ISIS is espousing on their social media and try to recruit young Muslims to join ISIS. We have here Mohamed Ahmed, the executive director of Average Mohamed. Average Mohamed is like a series of cartoons that send a very simple and effective message to young Muslims across the world. Welcome to BelAhdan, Mohamed. It's very,
thank you.
Very interesting idea, and I know a lot of people will say, "Oh, why didn't I think of that?" You know, that's take us through about interesting also. Average Mohamed. What is this? How does this name come about?
Well, my name is Mohamed, and I'm an average guy. Nothing spectacular about me. I mean, I'm a corporate shtick. I work for a corporation. House, mortgage, car note, the usual, the basic necessity in American life. And it dawned on me that it is an average guy who's actually recruiting and turning our kids into extremists. So it will take another average person to do the same thing they're doing. So the concept came about from Mohammed being the most common name in the world. I mean, the most common name in the world today is Mohammed. Mm-hmm. So I said, well, how about an average Mohammed? Let's try an average Mohammed. Let's see what does the average Mohammed, majority Muslims, believe in. And that's how we came about to the concept of average Mohammed.
And, you know, the Prophet's name also is Muhammad, and he wasn't average by any means.
No.
And so when people hear average Muhammad, they think about an average Muslim. That's what you had.
That is the correct. I mean, it's about the average person, average Muslim.
Okay.
Overwhelming majority of Muslims are average.
Yeah.
They're not spectacular.
Well, that's what average means.
Yeah, that's
a majority of people.
It's a majority of people, and what happens is we're trying to take their values and put it up there.
So, why did you choose cartoons?
Well, we tried everything. We tried videos, and the videos I made really were bad.
Yeah, videos everywhere.
Yeah, we tried videos, but then again, our videos are competing with beheadings and spectacular attack scenes. And, you know, young men with guns, Kalashnikovs, you know, AK-47s. So it just didn't have the same appeal.
Yeah.
And so we tried 5-minute long cartoons. And the kids, after 1 minute, they sleep out. they tell you
on their phones.
Yeah, you know, they're like, Mohammed, this is too long. After 1 minute, we just give up. We don't pay attention anymore.
The message is gone.
Message is gone. So we said, okay, let's make 1 minute long cartoons. 1 minute, 60 seconds, we come in with a message. We take one value of extremist belief, and we shoot it down. We basically shoot it down, whether we have to use the religion, logic, or reason. There's also logic within our democracy. So we take those opinions and we shoot down one value.
And how do you shoot it down? I mean, do you use also Islamic values? And I can watch some of your cartoons. I mean, you use also the Islamic values to shoot the values that's espoused by the Islamic State.
That's true.
It's a little bit confusing, but for a young kid.
The religion is not neutral in this.
Yeah.
It is Islamic State quotes what they want out of the Quran.
Yeah.
And they're nitpicking.
Yeah.
So we are doing the same.
So you are the antithesis of Islamic State.
Exactly. And we're picking this up from the Quran and the Hadiths and the teachings of the Prophet himself. You know, are we going out
Let
there
the
with,
sheep's my fault.
you know? So,
So that's very interesting. You know, you're not heavy-handed in those messages. Very simple, very targeting. So take us through the process of picking up how you're going to shoot this idea down and how you simplify this idea to young. Your audience,
let's take, for example, one of the cartoons.
Yeah.
Let's do the one about identity
Yeah.
in Islam.
Yeah.
Whereby we talk about diversity. The most important concept that we want to do over there is promote democratic value of diversity.
Yeah.
It is democratic to believe in diversity of gender, race, sexuality, and everything else.
Yeah.
So what we did is we said, okay, what in the Quran supports diversity? We found a verse. It says, we made you from a man and a woman, from one single seed, so you may be nations, so you may know each other. We said, that's diversity right there.
What a concept. Yeah, right there.
And then we tell the kids, look, like me, I'm a Somali, I'm a black man, I am a Muslim, I am
male,
I'm a conservative. I mean, there's a lot of labels to me.
Yeah.
So I have many identities depending on where I'm standing at. You
Take
know?
your pick.
Take your pick.
Yeah.
So we tell the kids, be comfortable in your diversity.
Yeah.
If a child can accept their diversity, guess what? They can accept diversity of their society.
Yeah.
So we sell the value of diversity within the individual, so that tomorrow when they get confused, you know,
Because he's going to face this in school, street, somewhere else.
Exactly. You will face this issue. What are you? You know, and the extremists, they use this very effectively. They say, are you an American or a Muslim? You say I'm an American, they give up on you. You know.
Yeah.
But when you say I'm a Muslim, they say, well, Americans are killing Muslims.
Yeah.
You should be more Muslim like us.
Yeah.
Or follow our path.
You know, when you look how this radical recruit young Muslims from across the world, you find out the people most likely to fall into this, they already have grievance.
True.
They already have grievance. You know, I was looking at why Belgium, why this attack was carried out in Belgium, and why Belgium's was one of the biggest country that sent people fighting with ISIS to Syria. Has the biggest number coming from Belgium. It's a very small. And one of the issue was, Belgium has the biggest Islamophobia in the whole Europe. And one of the other issue also has the most liberal guns laws. You know, people have guns everywhere.
Okay.
So there is a grievance beside the fact that they are sending troops to fight in Syria, like the coalition. Like that's what the group that sponsored the attack said. You know, because he's sending them. So what I'm saying. You are working against that grievances, and in your video you don't touch on those grievances.
Well, they're mythical.
Yeah.
Look, if it snows in the desert, it's America's fault.
Okay.
So this is you know.
No, but this
is what extremists use. I mean, they blame everything on America and the West.
Yeah.
It is mythical. We've reached mythical proportions, whereby now everything is being blamed on the West. Every bad deed happening down there is being blamed on the West.
It's not really mythical. There's actual things happening.
There is some truth to it.
Yeah.
But it's overblown.
Yeah.
But let's take, for example,
but I see your point, but a lot of Muslims see that I choose not to commit any crime.
Yeah, but
any terrorist.
Let's look at Belgium.
Yeah.
Well, all of these people are coming from one neighborhood called Molenbeek. Molenbeek was an industrial city. People, when they came here, the first generation, second generation, they worked in the industries there.
Yeah.
Those industries have gone.
Yeah.
Just like the same way we're losing industries to China and Mexico.
So
in Europe,
they're losing.
So what happens now is the second generation is growing up unemployed, undereducated, and undervalued. Now, what happens then is when someone comes in, a preacher, let's say with radical ideas, it's appealing because compared to what they have, it's something. And then there's this gang philosophy that extremists use. They create a sense of family, a sense of belonging, a sense of allegiance.
Yes.
And that's how they connect with them, and that's how they take them.
The reason I brought this up because a lot of Islamophobes in this country, they won't use this to rally anti-Islamic rhetoric and anti-immigration and all of that. So I don't want to, to just implicate the fact that Muslims are just sitting there, and once they hear a video from ISIS, they're going to join it. It takes more than that. So you have your video. Do you have like a target audience in your mind?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
We're going after the kids between the age of 8 and 16.
Okay.
The goal is to go ahead, fight this ideology at the point of inception, before the kid goes on social media. Now, the guys in Belgium who are doing this stuff, they didn't become radicalized yesterday.
No.
They started at a young age.
Yeah.
Maybe he looked at a suicide video and thought that was cool. Now we create 3 messages that say suicide bombers go to hell. So we're putting ideas in the head and we're saying, look, you go do suicide.
Beheading somebody.
And don't take my word for it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm an average guy.
Yeah.
Here I quote the Prophet himself, peace be upon him.
Yeah.
And we say this is what the Prophet taught us.
Yeah.
Suicide is, people who commit suicide go to hell. Suicide bombers commit suicide, they go to hell too.
Doesn't matter how you do
It
it.
doesn't matter how you do it, you're
Yeah.
still going to hell. Now, we want the kid to look at that.
Yeah.
So that tomorrow when he sees this video of suicide bombing, guess what? We have an idea in the head.
Yeah.
And we're competing.
At least he's starting a conversation.
Exactly. We are competing because we don't want these kids and these ideas coming into their heads. Because once it gets stuck in their heads, it is one way, one ticket, one option.
Yeah.
Eventually, by the time they turn from 8, by the time they turn 20, they're doing what's
too
happening
late.
in Brussels. It's too late.
It's too late.
Yeah. Misguided kids who don't know much about their religion, don't know much about their society, know very little about their democracy,
Yeah.
know about their limited rights. They don't know about what opportunity they have here in America. They can get easily swayed. And then there's philosophical teachings behind it. Teachings of Anwar al-Awlaki, teachings of other scholars, which basically layer it with religion and more religion. So they don't think, they keep on indoctrinating themselves and they go.
Yeah.
And the goal is to intercept and go in there and precisely go ahead, shoot down their concepts.
Surgically.
Yep,
you mean.
surgically.
Yeah. We're talking before the show about the role of imam and the role of the mosque. And it seems like, I don't want to be harsh on them, but it seems like the kids are deserting the mosque and deserting the imam and looking for something else with social media and all of this.
Well, the kids, look, it's a new age we live in now.
Yeah.
That half-an-hour sermon is not going to get the kids. You need something that's precise, quick, and efficient. And the imams, we're using a format. But that format has been the same format for 1,400 years. And engagement in today's society is completely different. Completely different. So the imams, they're talking. The Twin Cities imams, they are anti-radicals. They are anti-extremists. They give these sermons Fridays, once a month or twice a month or something like that.
Every week.
But I sit in the mosque and you see people sleeping on the side.
But I was saying, American have born-again Christian and the mosque has born-again Christian. They're very boring sermons, and they cannot relate to the kids.
But there's this new generation of imams coming up.
Yeah, that's also.
And that is beautiful. I've seen them on YouTube, and that is beautiful.
Yeah.
But then again, they don't go after this ideology. The main reason why they don't go after this ideology is because they put their credibility on the line.
So what's the biggest challenge now in using your very simple, cartoonish message to deliver a serious message?
Islamic State makes about 90,000 tweets, and they make about 1,000 videos a month. 1,000. They have a whole propaganda department. They are funded. People put their money into that effort. What we don't have here.
How you compete with that?
Exactly. I'm like a David fighting a Goliath, but then again, in that story, David won, you know? So
there is hope.
There is hope. And then the beautiful part is the question of funding.
Yeah.
Now, I went to apply to a foundation. I said, look, guys, I need money to make more cartoons. We can make a cartoon every 14 days. The messages is there. It's easy. We can take this ideology and nitpick at it, piece by piece by piece by piece, until at the end of the day, we create one understanding that is universal that says this is fake. This ideology is, excuse my language, but shit, you know? You know?
Yeah.
So we want to do that. And the question of funding.
Yeah.
But then again, you have to get in bed with your government.
And that's very hard for average Muslim, average Mohammed, to get in bed with the government.
Well, the first thing is I have credibility in the street.
Yeah.
The credibility I get from the kids is because I don't work for the government.
And that's the whole thing.
You know,
you're taking a different route.
Exactly.
Because the CVA has been accused of so many things.
Yeah, but no, it's accusations. We
Yeah.
don't have. We haven't even started yet.
No, I mean, on the service, the community has trusted the law enforcement.
Yes.
Well, once you get the law enforcement at the mosque or at the community center, now you have issues.
But they're already there. But you go by,
Yeah,
depending on what's at the government.
yeah,
For the Department of Justice, there's a bigger baggage within the community.
yeah,
For State Department, no baggage, because State Department has been feeding Muslims for a long time.
yeah.
People are used to seeing USAID before we came to America in bags that said USAID, and the State Department was delivering this. So it's different.
But they're doing other things too.
They're doing other things. They're also carrying the foreign policy.
Oh, and bombing and all, invading and all of that.
This is national interest.
Yeah.
Every nation has interest.
But what I'm saying, this is what's happening. You mean you talk about credibility. I mean, and you associate yourself with the government that been bombing, sending drones. I mean, those are serious issues that your kids that you are targeting are exposed to. It's not ISIS.
I'll give you a very good example. I do outreach. I go out there and I speak to the kids. I've spoken to over 5,000 kids in the Twin Cities.
Yeah.
Literally. At one event, the Somali Independence Festival, I spoke to 3,000 kids. We delivered over 3,000 pamphlets. Now, those pamphlets I made from money raised by kids themselves from Roosevelt High School.
Yeah.
They did a henna event.
They believe in this.
They did a henna event
Yeah.
at their school where they put henna on other girls and they raised $5 at a time
tattooed.
and tattooed and gave me the money and
Yeah.
I made pamphlets with it. I distributed over 500 bottles of water in that event.
Yeah.
That water came from halal stores. I went to the halal store and said, look, I'm average Mohammed. I need your help. They give me free water. They said,
Average help.
They said, go out there. We believe in what you're doing.
Yeah.
Majority Muslims believe in what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Now it's a minority. And this minority, we have to compete. We
Yeah.
actually have to compete. Our values are stronger. Our values are better. Our values are based on 3 principles. That is what we're espousing. The value of peace, the value of democracy, and the value of anti-extremism. And these are the 3 values that we're taking forward. Now, some of the kids, these are the questions I get asked. One of them says, look at this country. Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, they're attacking Muslim countries only.
Yeah, yeah.
The wars are in the Muslim countries.
Yeah.
What do you expect these Muslims to do?
Yeah.
You know, that's a genuine question.
That's a legitimate question.
That's a legitimate question. So I talk to the kids and I tell them, look, are you against these wars? And the kids say, yes, we're against these wars. I say,
Well,
well,
a lot of, not just Muslim, a lot of people are against this war.
that's exactly the point.
Yeah.
I say, well, good. The first lesson you've learned in your democracy is the right to dissent.
Yeah.
This is your democratic right.
Don't elect those politicians.
So you have a choice. You go ahead, join up with the senators or the Congress people and other people who believe in this. I can give you a list. The wrong way to go about it is to go listen to ISIS telling us how wrong it is.
You are the source of the message.
I am the source of the
It's
message.
not just what you say, it's who's saying it.
Yeah.
So people will trust your message than an imam or a State Department or even ISIS.
I'll give you an example. The State Department has a program called peer-to-peer. Basically, they get peers around the world to do the same thing I'm doing.
Yeah.
Compare that to me individually. I have over 250,000 hits on social media, straight up messaging.
Yeah.
Within the Muslim community all across the world. The State Department has hired a company to do this. They have a fraction of that. There is effectiveness in what I do because legitimacy, people can see fake coming a mile away.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I do it,
And also the issue of credibility. I mean, State Department doesn't have that much credibility.
in the Muslim world, no.
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
American government does not have any credibility in the Muslim world. It's a sad state of affairs.
It's
Believe in that. Is the people who believe that this is a civilizational war between Muslims and non-Muslims, they're going to get empowered.
kuffar or
Now what happens is it's on both sides. It's on the Muslim side and it's on the non-Muslim side. And now that is exactly the playbook of Al-Qaeda. That is exactly the playbook of ISIS. Because they are so few that they know the only way they can win the Muslim people is to turn the other worlds, the other communities against the Muslims.
And that's what they do. They do this terrorist act.
Well, you can hear what some of the politicians are saying. They're chest thumping.
Yeah.
You know, They're chest thumping.
Carpet bombing.
Carpet bombing. What is carpet bombing? We've never done carpet bombing since Dresden, for God's sake.
Been doing this for a while.
You know?
Yeah.
So you're looking at carpet bombing, and then people saying we're going to kill families and children. Now, how immoral can you get when you say you're going to kill families and children?
That's how they recruit terrorists. You mentioned two groups and the benefit from the terrorist attacks around the world, but also I was thinking about the other group, which is really the despotic regime, the Arab dictators.
Oh yes, they love this.
Oh.
We offer security. We keep this.
They don't have to do anything.
We keep this whore down.
Exactly.
But I stay in power.
But also, those are the people we support. Our government support Al-Sisi. They support the Saudis. They support those Arab dictators.
Well, we have to do business with somebody.
I understand, but we have to realize that who's recruiting? Who's the biggest recruiter for terrorists? They are despotic Arab dictators. They are the bombing and invasion. I mean, there is other macro issues that really is biggest recruiter than ISIS.
Well, here's the fact. Half of the population in the Muslim world, especially in the Arab world, is under 25. Half.
Yeah.
And then all of this, we're getting a 45% to 35% unemployment rate. There is no hope, no future. So a radical preacher comes in and he gives them option, he gives them a way of life, he gives them an idea. They will go. They will go. There is no stopping it.
You want to live in something bigger than you.
If you look at another example, Tunisia, it has the second highest rate of people going to ISIS and Al-Qaeda.
Yeah.
But then again,
this
Tunisia...
is the one spark Arab Spring.
Exactly. But if you look at Tunisia, it is going through a democratic process whereby people get elected a new system and a new system. It is not... We can't just say these Arab despotic regimes are the reason behind this. It is an ideology behind this. It is the ideology itself. So, and then if you look at people like the kids who left Minnesota, what despotic regime do we have in America? Seriously, we are the freest people on earth. Literally, we are the freest people on earth. We put together a system of governance where it says the individual is supreme, democracy is supreme. Now, what is the appeal?
No, I mean, the people who join Shabab or ISIS, whatever, do you think this is like a youth problem? You have a lot of gangs problem in this country, and people, instead of going to Chicago to join bigger gangs, they go to Syria, whatever. Well, so I don't think it's an Islamic ideology as much as it's a youth problem.
Well, it is a youth problem.
Of the general mass stream.
That is true. We got to divert these kids, we got to retrain them, we got to educate them, and we got to create the next citizens.
And I think I'm not arguing with it. I think what you do is very commanding, and I think it's a wonderful thing. But I thought, I'm asking that you need to get support and resources from the mainstream provider that actually you're solving issue that might come across as Islamic ideology and extremism, but also it is a very American problem.
True. Look,
when people who live Europe and go fight or commit suicide, you find most of those people are born in Europe. It's not what the ISIS told them. It's not what the police or people on the street told them in Brussels or France. This is really what alienate those young Muslims. Not ISIS that brought them as much, they do, but also their life, as you said, they have unemployment, they have, anti-Islamic. So there is issue there. Beside ISIS.
Here's what I base my thinking on, and I believe it's ideological, and it is a religious ideological. It is based on religion. There is no running away from that. I mean, that's a straight up fact. It is a misunderstanding of religion which has become poisonous. And that is a straight up fact.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Now, what we do understand and what I do know is this. If unemployment and low income and social conditions are the problem facing my community, well, the African American and Mexican community should be doing the same thing because they face the same issue.
And they've done that.
And
African American went through that too.
Yep.
Terrorism and all of that.
So there is radicalism.
There is radicalism, and also we need to get to the root of it.
The root of it
If we're going to just blame ISIS all the time, we are missing the target. Because when you look at where the terrorists are coming and are happening, it's an area where they have a political grievances, not a religious one. As you say, these kids are not religious.
No, they know
Most
nothing
people
about
who
religion.
join ISIS are not religious.
They know nothing about
They
religion.
have political grievances.
They're in it.
These cartoons are made in India.
Yeah, I pay somebody in Southeast Asia. Look, it's a white boy who does the sound recording. It's a Muslim volunteers who do the voice recording, and there's a Hindu who makes the cartoon. This is diversity.
This is America at its best.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Mohammed. The average Mohammed is really using cartoons to fight ISIS and ISIS ideology. He doesn't want to carpet bombing them as everybody else, but he is using a very effective media to communicate with our young Muslims to at least pay attention to what he's saying, not to what ISIS is saying. We'll see you next week. Assalamu alaikum, and God bless you all.
Thank you.
All you young lions of Islam, listen up. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, whoever intentionally swears falsely by religion other than Islam, then he is what he had said. And whoever commits suicide with a piece of iron will be punished with the same piece of iron in the hellfire. Sahih al-Bukhari, hadith number 1363. What do you think happens to suicide bombers? Committing suicide is a path to hell. No exceptions. Do no harm. Do not be harmed. Your family, your people, your country expect you to build a great future. Do not be misled by false teachings. Remember, peace out. Extremist thinking out. This message is brought to you by AverageMohammed.com. AverageMohammed.com.